That the message was clear that human beings are not for sale.
That's the message behind a major 6-day sex trafficking operation that resulted in over 100 arrests here in San Diego County. Good evening, I'm Steffi Roche.
I'm Carlo Cicchetto. State and local law enforcement announced the results of a coordinated multi-agency sweep today targeting pimps and their customers.
CBS 8's Richard Allen is here with more on this targeted enforcement and the help being offered to the victims. Richard.
And Steffi and Carlo, this nearly week-long operation involving more than a dozen law enforcement agencies led to 120 arrests statewide, the vast majority of them right here in San Diego County, including arrests in known sex trafficking hotspots in the city of San Diego, National City, Santee, and San Marcos.
Let's be clear, human trafficking is happening in our communities, behind closed doors and in plain sight.
Speaking in San Diego today, California Attorney General Rob Bonta also made it clear that law enforcement is focusing on those driving the demand for sex trafficking, including the sex buyers and the pimps.
Our strategy is straightforward: reduce demand, disrupt trafficking networks, and protect survivors.
Operation Stand on Demand, which took place from January 19th through the 24th, led to 87 people arrested for loitering, 25 for solicitation, and 8 for pimping and pandering. Of that 120 total arrests, 105 were here in San Diego County.
105 people who thought that they were going to go out and buy a human being like they're a hamburger or a slice of pizza.
Victims can be any age, any gender, and any background.
Sheriff Kelly Martinez also points out that cooperation among agencies is critical to combating trafficking, which according to the DA's office is an $810 million a year industry in San Diego County alone.
Our border location, major highways, tourism, and the military presence make regional collaboration essential.
No buyers, no trafficking.
Marissa Ugarte is executive director of the nonprofit Bilateral Safety Corridor Coalition, which fights human trafficking on both sides of the border. She says operations like this, focusing on curbing the demand for trafficking, is crucial to sending a clear message.
Is that you're going to be arrested. You're going to have a felony, especially if you are caught with a minor. So buyers, beware. Pimps, beware.
Adding that in her experience, trafficking victims can be as young as 12 years old.
You have recruitment in malls, you have them in schools, you have them in restaurants.
Law enforcement also making it clear that more operations like this most recent one are coming.
This isn't the end, this is the beginning. And if you're planning to lurk in our communities, you need to know we're going to be there.
And law enforcement was also able to use a new state law that just went into effect January 1st to carry out some of these arrests. AB 379, which was sponsored by District Attorney Summer Stephan and Mayor Todd Gloria, makes it a misdemeanor to loiter with the intent to buy sex, and also makes it a felony to solicit sex from someone who is 16 or 17 years old.
Richard, one thing that kind of jumped out in that story to me, California is a big state. Right. 120 arrests, 105 were in San Diego. Right. Did they say why so many arrests were made here?
Well, we are sort of a nexus, sort of a hotspot for this activity, unfortunately. There's a lot of factors, and Sheriff Martinez kind of pointed it out with our location to the border, our military presence, our presence at the major highway systems here. We're a major tourist destination. So all of that together makes us, unfortunately, a hotspot for human trafficking.
And the Attorney General mentioned the importance of helping out the survivors of sex trafficking.
That's right.
What kind of resources are out there for victims?
Yeah, he made a very good point. He said a lot of times, too often, the victims are treated as criminals and not as victims, which they are. And there are a lot of resources locally and nationally. There are 3 family justice centers here in San Diego County. There's the Bilateral Safety Corridor Coalition, who we interviewed. There's the National Human Trafficking Hotline. And we have links to all of that and many more resources on our website. Just go to CBS8.com.
Important resources, important story. Thanks, Richard.
Thank you.